Hello, everyone. Hello, and happy Hump Day. Happy Hump Day. Today is September 20th, 2023. Wow, we are almost at the end of September. Time is literally flying by. Let me make sure I can see myself on YouTube. Yep, I see the red icon. So I am live. As is often the case on this channel, I don't know what kind of crowd I'm going to get over here. I don't have a long track record of going live over here. Hopefully that will change. But I just wanted to come on and give a quick reaction of the Equalizer. Well, not of, a quick reaction to the Equalizer 3 starring Denzel Washington. I saw the movie on Friday night, and the Big Words LLC brought the ticket for me. So whenever the business buys a ticket, I have to do a review on that movie. So here we are. I'm going to share this over on my original channel, and then I'm going to play my my new short intro, and then I am going to jump in. Let's see. Yep, there's me. I'm going to give it a like over there. Oh, I got 2 likes. That means somebody saw that I was live, I think, on the Big Discussions 76 Entertainment and Media channel and gave it a like. Thank you to whoever gave this that like. Okay. Community tab. Let's see. All right. I have just shared that, and I am going to switch back here. I'm going to play the intro, and then I'm going to jump in. I apologize for all of the dead space. If you watch this live, or if you watch this on the playback, please give this review, this offering, this video, please give it a like. And if the algorithm has brought you here, if you're new, please consider subscribing to this channel. All right, I will see you on the other side of my short, truncated, modified, and updated intro. And something happens during this battle that we had never seen in the cartoon series up to that point, which was some of the characters started dying. So that's what I think that episode was about. I think it said a lot. I think it was speaking to quite a bit. And it goes back to, at some point, can a population of people based upon race, can they eventually come together and stop the fighting and stop discriminating against one another? And so they get into this dialogue where Sal says, look, this is my pizzeria. If you want to have your own pizzeria, you can get your own pizzeria. But for now, in Sal's, there are only Italians up on the wall. Hierarchies, distinct classes, distinct sects of people. Sex, S-E-C-T-S, not S-E-X. Distinct groups of people where some people have access and some people don't, where some people are accepted and some people are not, when some people, that's a part of us as a species, that's a part of us as a race, and it's always been there, even if nobody's talking about it. Instead, bigoted anti-hero Archie, played by Carol O'Connor, and his dingbat wife Edith, played by Jean Stapleton, along with their rebelliously progressive daughter Gloria, Sally Struthers, and son-in-law Mike, i.e. Meathead, Rob Reiner, mined comedy gold out of hot-button subjects such as racism, rape, immigration, gun control, and homophobia. But Lieutenant Saavik wanted to do everything by the book. She knew all the regulations, she knew all the rules, and she knew all of the standard operating procedures for Starfleet. Welcome to Big Discussions 76, Entertainment and Media. Here I discuss media of all kinds, movies, TV shows, favorite characters, book readings, retrospectives, sometimes music, all media, all of it. Hey everyone, so that is my new intro. I did it with music before. Things evolve and things constantly evolve. So a few months from now, hey, maybe I'll have another intro, but I think that one, it covers the gamut. It covers the content that I create here, movies, TV shows, favorite characters, retrospectives, superheroes, science fiction, all of it. And I want to thank everyone who watched our Blue Beetle review / retrospective on Saturday. So I cover all of it here. Occasionally I'll cover books. I have one on the way myself, but I think that sums it up, that intro. Please smash that like button if you just came in. If you're going to hop in and hop out, like playing double dutch, please smash that like button. The likes are free and the subscriptions are free. Also, please consider subscribing to the channel. So I wanted to just say a few words about the Equalizer 3, which should be the final movie in the trilogy. I remember when they were rolling out the Equalizer 2, I remember Denzel making a commercial or else in a documentary saying that he doesn't do sequels. Well, for this collaboration with Antoine Fuqua, who I believe they worked with on Antoine Fisher, I think they worked together on that. Anyway, with this collaboration with Antoine Fuqua, he has broken that rule. So he's actually made a trilogy here, similar to the Dark Knight trilogy with Christian Bale and Christopher Nolan. Okay, so I promise I'm not going to be long. Please smash that like button if you haven't. So the Equalizer 3, I decided to go see it on Friday. I bought my ticket. I saw I believe it was a 7:30 or an 8:30 show. I didn't want to get out too late because I had content to make on some of my other channels on Saturday. Saturday is football day. It's one of them. And so I saw a 7:30, I think it was a 7:30 show, and the movie was about 2 hours. So before I jump into the movie, interestingly, you know that the writers' strike is going on, and the actors and the writers' strike is going on in Hollywood. So when I was sitting in the theater, there was a handful of us in there. It wasn't packed. I was sitting in there with my popcorn and my drink, looking at the screen, and they were running all these commercials, not trailers, but they were running these commercials. And I was thinking to myself, okay, maybe they're going to skip right to the movie because there aren't any new movies coming out now because the writers are on strike and the actors are on strike. So they run through all these commercials, and then finally they got to the trailers. I don't remember all of the trailers, but I will say this: there is a new Exorcist movie coming out. So this time it looks like two little girls. One is black. So there's going to be a double possession going on now. So look out for that. There's a new Exorcist movie coming out. I wasn't too high on the first one. It was a little scary. I heard lots of stories about it before I saw it. But when I saw it, I realized what all the hype was about, because it was kind of scary. And consequently, before I move on, the other night, I had a dream about The Fly, Jeff Goldblum's The Fly in 1986. That movie spooked me when I saw it back in 1986. I think I was 10 years old. Anyway, look out for that. A new Exorcist movie with two little girls. Okay, so the Equalizer 3. So I saw the first two movies. I didn't see the first Equalizer. I think I saw the Equalizer 2 before the first Equalizer, so I didn't see them in sequential order. But I will go back and do these in sequential order. So the first one, Denzel plays Robert McCall. In all three of these, he's a retired military serviceman or agent, and he is elite, and he knows he must have been a SEAL or a Marine of some sort, or an assassin of some sort, because if you watch the movies, he is a very, very efficient killer. He knows how to time everything, and he knows what his I want to say victims, but his assailants, he knows what they're going to do before they do it. And I think that's a trademark of the movie. That's what the character is, in addition to enjoying tea and folding up the napkin with his tea in a certain way. So the first movie, and these movies usually involve Robert McCall coming to the aid of someone. So if you saw the banner for this, that was a picture, that was the poster at the Metro where I work, and it says "Justice knows no borders." So the first two movies take place in New England. I believe it's Boston, in the United States. The third movie takes place in Europe, in Italy. So in the first movie, he took on some Russian oligarch, or a Russian aristocrat. I think maybe an oligarch is the proper term. And they were running a prostitution ring in Boston. And Robert McCall befriends one of the girls in this prostitution ring. He meets her in his diner, and he gets entangled with these Russian gangsters. He kills them. The oligarch sends over his main henchman. This guy, I forget the guy's name. He tries to hunt down Robert McCall. His guys eventually get killed off, and he eventually gets killed off in a very grisly and bloody way. And then Robert McCall goes over to Russia and takes out the oligarch, the guy who was over all of it. So he takes him out. So that was part one. That took place in Boston. Part two co-starred Pedro Pascal from The Mandalorian and Wonder Woman 1984 and Game of Thrones. He played Oberyn Martell. I think it was Oberyn or Oberlin Martell. So part two was about Pedro Pascal's character, who we thought they were all on the same side, but he killed off the wife of Bill Pullman's wife. Bill Pullman, I believe it was Bill Pullman. Bill Pullman played the the president of the United States in Independence Day. And his wife, let me go ahead and look her up. I'm right here at the internet. Let me go ahead and look both of them up. Give me a second here. If you're just coming in, please smash that like button. No matter how long you stay, please smash that like button. The likes are free and they help out with the engagement. Right. So Pedro Pascal, some family over in Europe gets murdered. He's involved with it. Susan Plummer is married to Brian Plummer. Susan Plummer was played by Melissa Leo. Brian Plummer was played by Bill Pullman. And Pedro Pascal and his henchmen end up killing off Susan Plummer. Susan Plummer and her husband, they were often the ones. They see the humanity in Robert McCall. They're friends. And she was in the government or in the CIA or the FBI, and she would usually end up feeding Robert McCall the intel that he needed to know what was happening at that particular time. So Pedro Pascal, they have her killed off. So then once Robert finds out that Pedro Pascal's character, Dave York, once he finds out he's behind all of it, he tells him, hey, I know it's you, and we're going to have to settle this. And at the end of the movie, they end up settling it at a Cape Town. Pedro Pascal and two of his henchmen, Robert McCall, kills them off first in a very, very clever way. I remember one scene, one of the guys goes into a kitchen. He cuts the bag of flour open. The flour goes everywhere. He lights the air, and the airborne flour causes an explosion. And then he and Pedro Pascal's character, Dave York, they battle it out to the death on top of a some sort of observatory where they could overlook the ocean and the horizon. But he ends up killing Pedro Pascal's character, Dave Plummer. Now, also in that movie, in the second movie, Ashton Sanders was in that movie, and Robert McCall mentors Miles Whitaker. Ashton Sanders' character, Ashton Sanders, played the RZA in the Wu-Tang Saga TV show. So he was in that as well. So that one was about the betrayal of a colleague, the death of a friend, and also mentoring a young man who was being called to the streets. So that's what that one was about. And I think in that second one, we see pictures of Robert McCall's wife as well. So this third one, I'm not going to be on much longer because I have to get up early in the morning. But Robert McCall, he opens. These are spoilers. If you haven't seen the Equalizer 3 yet, maybe you want to turn this off. It's up to you. But the movie starts off in Italy, right, at a winery, and the owner of the winery is driving up with a young man, a little boy, and Robert McCall has allowed himself to be captured, but he wanted to capture the owner, the head drug kingpin who owns the winery. And Robert McCall ends up killing all the henchmen and then killing the owner of the winery. He ends up taking I believe it was the money or the drugs. He gets wounded by the little boy trying to escape, and he gets incapacitated going to wherever it is he's going. And then he gets picked up by a police officer and taken to the town of, I can't think of the name. I didn't write it down. But he gets taken to an Italian town, and he's nursed back to health by a doctor named Enzo. And instead of rushing back to the United States, he decides to stay in this town. Let me see if it's in this write up here. No, it's not in this write up. Let me enable my screen share here so you all can see what I'm looking at. This is the embed for the Equalizer 3. There's Denzel. I believe that's the opening sequence of the movie right there. Yeah. It was directed by Antoine Fuqua. The writers were Richard Wank, Michael Sloan, and Richard Lindheim. And it starred Denzel Washington, Dakota Fanning, and Eugenio Mastrandrea. So he gets nursed back to health in this town. And instead of rushing back off to the United States, he stays there. Well, I have some commenters here. Corrine, how did I know that it was you? Corrine, I actually have a question for you as well, which I will ask you offline. I'll ask you offline. Let's see. Corrine, do you want to come do this one with me? Are you doing something right now? I'm not going to be on long. Let me go back. Let me finish my spiel, and then if you want to say a few words on it, you can come up. Okay, so he stays there in the town. I forget the name of the town. I didn't write it down, but it's a comfortable town. And he, there's a restaurant. There's a doctor. He's staying with the doctor. There's a small police militia, and there's a restaurant / cafe owned by Amina. Amina, played by Gaia Scodelario. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. She looks Portuguese or Brazilian, but she popped off the screen as soon as she came on. I was like, whoa. I was like, who was that? So she seems to take a liking to Robert McCall. And she, you could tell that there's a fondness for him. And, in that first scene, he wants his tea, but she brings out some sort of espresso for him. And then, she's kind of watching him every day he comes. She asks him why he does that ritual with his napkin. And so there's something happens there. She invites him to go get some of the native food. So that's a little side thing. It didn't get sexual. It didn't get intimate, but there was an affection between the two. And so as Robert McCall stays in the town, he realizes that there's a gang of thugs there as well, terrorizing the locals. And it turns out that the head of this particular group of thugs wants to take that property so that he can start to build hotels and whatever else on it. So he's trying to strong arm the people out of there. And Robert McCall starts to realize what's going on. He starts calculating in his mind, do I want to get involved? And eventually he gets involved. Now, earlier on in the plot, he makes a call back to the United States to tip them off as to what's going on with the drugs over there. He calls Dakota Fanning's character, Emma Collins. And we don't know why he calls her immediately. Okay, that's revealed later on. But there's something going on with the drugs, and there's something going on with terrorism in Italy. I think Kareem probably has a better handle on this. But Robert McCall ultimately ends up taking on the bad guys beating up the bad guys and killing off all the bad guys in a very, very grisly and bloody way. And that's the trademark. I think that's the trademark of this series. I mean, one of them. I mean, besides him being an efficient killer and him liking to do the thing with his tea and his napkin, these movies are very, very violent. And they're very, very bloody at times. And if you don't like carnage, if you don't like seeing blood run down the streets and guys' arms being broken and guys being bludgeoned and pierced with spears and knives, this is not the movie for you. This series is not for you. Corrine, the link is right there in the chat. It was good. I was entertained by it. I was entertained by it. I think that these are kind of formulaic. This one was different in that it took place in Italy and not in the United States, but these are very, very formulaic. Robert McCall, he typically, there's someone in need, there's someone in danger, there's someone in need of help. They're too weak to change their circumstance. They're too weak to overcome the bully or the person who is oppressing them or threatening to kill them. And typically he sees that and he decides to get involved as an agent of justice. And he my brother's in the chat too. He says, how you doing, bro? I'll watch this at some point. We should review. Oh, yes, we should. That's an excellent idea. That is a classic, and I have a lot to say about that movie. That's another, for those of you who don't know, oh, this is my brother here, Amal Dunbar. He does all the artwork for my stuff. But A Soldier Story was a play adapted to the cinema, starring Denzel, among others, David Allen Greer, Adolph Caesar, most notably Adolph Caesar. And that was one of Denzel's early classic roles. Someone just tweeted about, well, is it Twitter or is it X? I call it Twitter X. Someone tweeted about that the other day. So, bro, absolutely, we will do that. Hello, lady. How you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Good. Just squeezing this in my busy schedule. What did you think about the movie?
Oh, yeah, I love the movie. I just actually got home about 20 minutes ago from work, and I turned on my thing and I saw that you were on. No, yeah, I love the movie. I thought it was, of course, action, great action. I mean, I've watched the entire series, so also it was like it's an action movie. It's violent, but it's also is kind of like a Western too, in a way, like a small, like the stranger comes into town, defend the town, like it remind me similar to like Westerns, like growing up watching these Westerns. And then also it was romance, but it was romance with the town, not with a person. Like the town was romancing him and he was romancing the town. It looked like the town looked so beautiful. Like I spent time in Italy. I did a study abroad in Italy. So when I was watching it, I was like, oh yeah, I did a study abroad in Italy. Not there, not in it took place in Napoli, in Sicily and Napoli. I didn't go to Naples. They call it Napoli in the movie. Naples and Sicily. But I was in Florence. So, but it was beautiful. The cinematography, the action, the bad guy, him and at the end, even the end of the movie, the last scene in the movie when the guy is crawling and Denzel is watching him crawl. I loved it. I love the movie. I don't know. I don't care if it was violent. I think that's okay. It's an adult film. It's not for children.
Yeah, that's true. Just yeah, man. You see that blood running down the street. You see it going everywhere, and when he settled the score with the younger brother and those guys, that completely took me by surprise. I thought he was going to let him go, but no, he killed those guys off right there in the street, and he
They
yeah
deserve it.
yeah they did because they tried to burn down the guy's market. Was it his restaurant or his little grocery store? They tried to burn
Yeah,
it
like
down.
fish market. Yeah, they burnt it
Yeah,
down. They did. They burnt down the fish market.
yeah. Everyone, these are spoilers if you haven't seen it. I mean, it's been out
Yeah,
a couple
sorry.
weeks. We apologize.
Yeah, I mean, and like everybody says, like if you hear any reviews of this movie, everybody would say Denzel really, his acting is just amazing because he could just emote so well. Like you feel everything he's feeling. You feel like he's like I'll tell you, like literally you felt like he was falling in love with the town. Like this was his town. I actually
Mhm.
felt that by watching the movie and how, I love the doctor, the caring doctor, you said the girl, she was a whatever, she was a waitress in the cafe. The townspeople, the cop, the cabinet, the cop, like
Yes.
him and his daughter, and it was just good. It was a To me it was different though. I know you said it's form I can't say the word,
Formulaic.
but yeah, formulaic yeah, and because it's a series, so they're gonna have those elements. But I felt like this kind of was a little bit, the scenery was different, and him actually like kind of settling down because it's kind of him like retiring. I think in
Yeah.
a way, I know they could do another one, but to me, this was like him. It was like the end of the end of the series. Him retiring to the town, enjoying his life, going out in sunset in a good way. Instead of like dying, like they would. Normally they would probably kill him off, but in this one, they made him just retired in the town, and
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah, I wrote this down. I know a theme of the movie was he kept saying in the beginning, "I am where I'm supposed to be.
right.
I am where I'm supposed to be." So that was something they were trying to tell us and drive home. Alongo Savage, thank you for stopping through. Everyone, I'm not going to go much longer, but please smash that like button if you haven't. If you're watching on the playback, those are free. So, Kareem, that was a good point. I didn't piece that together. That there was kind of a David Carradine Western
Yeah, thing to
kung
it.
fu type thing here.
Right? Like he's injured. He's in a small town, like a small town in like a sea town in Italy, and the guy find him. They're nice to him. They know that the mafia thing is going on, so they know like it could be anything with him. So they protect him, and by rescuing him and stitching him up. So he then turns around and protect the town because they embraced him and loved him, and he fell in love with the town. Like the scene when the mafioso guy came, and he was like, "Oh, you need to tell me who killed my brother, who killed my brother," and they didn't want to give him up. They didn't give him up. They all defended him. The whole town kind of defended him.
Yeah,
So I that
that's right. That's
scene.
right.
Yeah, I love the movie. I was just watching it. The director, I think two is the director. I think he's wonderful.
Antoine Fuqua. Yeah.
Yeah, Fuqua. He's good. Like I like most of his movies. He did Training Day too. He's the one that did Training Day, right?
So they've worked together quite a few times.
Yeah. So you could tell like they know each other and they trust each other because this movie was like I tell it was there was no romance in it, but the romance was between him. Like I felt a romance between him and the town, not between him and nobody else. It was just
Hmm.
I don't know the way it felt to me. It felt like a kind of like a love story song like it's kind of like a bittersweet. He's going out, but he's going out on top type of way.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay. So the town it was called Almonte.
Monte.
Almonte.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think that. Yeah, so this should be the last one. I mean, because he broke his rule because before this, he said I don't do sequels, but he did two more with this one. So this
Yeah.
should probably be it.
Yeah, this was his only sequel. No, I think they said he's gonna do Gladiator. He's gonna be in the new Gladiator. They're doing a new Gladiator movie, and I think he's gonna be in it. That's what I heard.
It's interesting that he's doing all these kind of roles as he's seasoned You know,
Right.
and as he's a little older.
Yeah.
I can't picture him right now playing a gladiator.
I don't know.
But
Maybe I don't know what they're gonna make him play, but they said
he's in it.
he's one of the star. Yeah.
Okay.
Um.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Like I said, this was appropriate because he's an Asian. He is an Asian actor, but I didn't think someone like I don't know. Did you see Dial of Destiny? Did you see Indiana Jones?
I did not. I heard so many bad things about it.
Okay, like the way they did it was they didn't respect him. They didn't like. I felt like they should have like. It's an action movie, and of course he's 80 years old, so
Yep.
he can't do certain things. But I don't think it was respectful to him. Like I felt like they was just like, oh, he old and whatever. You know what I mean? It was kind of disrespectful to him in a way. Whereas this one, Denzel, he's older, but he was strong. He still was like, he played a mature role, but it wasn't degrading. They wasn't trying to make him do more stuff than he did. He didn't really need an action double. I know they have doubles. I know they have stunt people, but some of the stuff he did, you wouldn't disbelieve him doing it for someone his age because he works out. He's a killer. He was a hitman. He was a CIA agent. So
Yep.
he's in shape.
Yep.
So the way he did the killings and everything was appropriate. It wasn't sometimes when they do these things, they make it kind of cartoonish. Like I love John Wick, but it's very like video game-ish the way they do the killings. Video game-ish type, it's not it's more realistic. The killings were more realistic they're in a didactic way. Like they make it a drama. They're doing drama. So, but John Wick this is kind of a John Wick type movie to me. I felt like people compare this to like John Wick, but I feel like this is more realistic.
Okay. Well, Kareen, I have an early morning. I have to wrap up. Do you have anything else? I appreciate you. So my brother had an idea for a collab here. I'm going to contact you about one offline. Okay. Do you have anything else on the Equalizer 3?
Go see it. It's a fabulous movie. That's it.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming up and giving your thoughts on it.
No problem. Thank you for having me. You guys have a wonderful night.
All right. Talk to you soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, everyone. I'm gonna wrap this up. Thank you to everyone who watched. If you're new to the channel, please like, share, and subscribe. If you're returning sub, please like and share. If you want to donate something to the channel, my Cash App and PayPal are below in the description box. The movie's been out for about 2 to 3 weeks now, so if you haven't seen it yet, well, it just got spoiled for you. That's just a part of this. Please consider the link for my newsletter is in the description box below. Please consider signing up if you haven't. Thank you to everyone who has. And I will be back with some more content soon. There's a lot of news that caught my eye in the entertainment media space. A couple of shows got canceled, one of which is near and dear to my heart. But so more content is on the way, and I'm working on a video about a favorite Star Trek character of mine. So more content is on the way. So I just wanted to come up and do this short live stream on the Equalizer 3. When the Big Words LLC buys the ticket, I have to do a review on it. So, all right, everyone, with that, I'm going to wrap this up. Have a good night. I'll talk to you soon. As always, remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Always try to do your best. Take care, and I will talk to you the next time. Bye-bye.